Call the meeting to order. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Stankiewicz?
Here.
Councilmember Switzer?
Here.
Councilmember Holt?
Here.
Councilmember Phillips?
Here.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Here.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Here.
Mayor Armstrong?
Here.
Town attorneys present.
Thank you very much. Item 2, introductions, presentations, and proclamations. Item A, update on economic development strategic planning. Madam Town Manager.
Oh, okay. Everything disappeared. Please? Maybe.
I guess it's nothing.
Okay, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. As you know, you had given us directive that this was one of your priorities. We have been working at it, and I know you've been anxious to hear something. Even though we're not completely done and ready to engage in a study session, we wanted to at least give you an update on the progress and where we're at, and actually give you some homework over this break that we're having, so when we come back and have this study session, you've had some opportunity to go out and see some of the things we're talking about and be ready to give some input. So, and this is going to be a joint presentation. Unfortunately, Maggie couldn't be with us tonight, but I will be asking our new Public Works Director and, where's Lori? Oh, there she is. And our Economic Development Director, or our Development Services Director to assist in this presentation. So, I don't know if you want to come up and make it easier to trade on and off. It's kind of difficult, but it's easier than having them sit down and stand up and sit down. So, you have established as a council priority economic development strategic planning. The key principles we heard from you in the past, and particularly in the last study session, is that we need to have an eye out for our town's economic viability, our long-term sustainability, that we have no property tax and we have a heavy reliance on sales tax. New revenue sources are key to our fiscal strength, and even we want to maintain our rural character, so we want to look for the right projects in the right place. Those are some core principles we heard from you, and then that you wanted to take an active role in our own future through policies and investment opportunities that attract and support projects with a retail component or TPT revenue streams. So that was kind of what we heard from you of what your priorities are and the direction you want to go. What we think is important is that those are just words, that you've actually have put that into action. And some of the ways that's happened is the RV park at Old Home Manor, doing a PSA and a development agreement to allow that to come in, which will be a really good revenue stream. Other projects that outdoor recreation projects out at Old Home Manor. We have a disc golf course that's coming in. We have an OHV staging area that's coming in. You did a Highland Apartments development agreement, which the town invested in the sewer extension and putting it at the depth so that we can serve things beyond that. So that was one of the ways that you've shown that you are actively supporting the right project, the right place. The airstrip zoning in CUP was a means of saying, yes, a right project, right place. We support this. This could be a real good revenue stream for the town. And then, of course, in the March 24th study session, we had some discussion and you gave some real direction to us and to come back to you. So this is stage one of that. We, as a team, Steve Sullivan, we've had many people come in and be part of this conversation, and we picked 4 key areas that are in the general plan that are really economic hubs. So you've seen this before. One is Road 3 North and Perkinsville Road. That's where the new Maverick projects to go in, and the ADOT yard. Coming south, it's Road 2 North. That's the Safeway intersection. More south is Road 1 South, which is called the Southgate Center. And then Road 4 South is where the Circle K. So we're going to talk about each one of those in a little more detail.
Before you move on.
Yes, please.
So this is a good opportunity to look at, this is the general plan map. And if you look at the purple areas, the HMUs, those are our high activity, high intensity areas in the town. There's 6 of them in the town. Most of them are along 89, and these pick up parts of 3 of them. And think about maximum 8 dwelling units per acre, so you get some intensity in these locations, which doesn't add traffic out on the roads that we don't have the ability to maintain. So we have them in these key central locations, up to 8 dwelling units per acre for 25% of the property that's in the purple area. And then we can have a mix of commercial and business. We could have co-ops. We can have live-work units. You can have, there's so many opportunities. This is the creative place that we can come up with our own PAD. Now, these don't have a design for them yet. I have asked for them in every budget since the general plan. But our hope is that we can get something in the zoning code update, because it's the same team that helped us with the general plan. So we're working with them to try and get something to help us create these pods that will help create synergy and activity. I see a lot of retail areas, a lot of walkable areas, and some density right there. And then we don't have the density anyplace else in the community.
Which has been stated as important to our community. Keep the outskirts very rural and lower density. So, starting at Road 3 North, Perkinsville Road. So you can see on this map where Maverick is projected to go, orientation, this is where the 8-yard is currently right now. If you look up at the key in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see where Chino Valley Sewer, Chino Valley Water, and Prescott Water is, because those are all impactful to development activities and some of the decisions I think that you guys are going to need to make in the future. Oh yes, and Perkinsville, that's a good one. Perkinsville 44 is right there. So also in this area is the Chino Valley Business Park, the Marketplace, and that's one of the ones where we're excited, where falling prices used to be, and it used to be a long time ago, a grocery store, and there's been a non-compete in place, and that's going to expire in November. So there's some exciting talks going on about potentially what could come in there. We have the Butterfield Plaza a little bit to the south. Maverick is going in, and we have the ADOT yard here. That's a key corner. And it's so fortunate that there's an ADOT yard there when we have water and sewer and it's a high traffic. So we've actually met with the new district manager and are having some conversations, and we're very encouraged about that. Both of my colleagues were at that meeting, and they are doing some research to find out about, to do an assessment of maybe if there's a hazardous materials or anything on that site, and looking at maybe we could do a swap or a change to get them out of that and put that into where it could be a very viable place to market in our town for retail. So that's an exciting conversation. The strengths and weaknesses of this section, it's a strategic north side location. We have high traffic. There are vacant Class C commercial property and commercial buildings. There's available land. There is Chino Valley Water and Sewer to the highway, and there's Prescott Water to the highway. The challenges is getting utilities across the highway or up to the north. And then, unfortunately, in that plaza area, the owner is an absentee landlord and isn't really engaged and hasn't marketed to that. So that makes it more difficult, as if you had somebody that was engaged in actively trying to turn that property over. The next one is Road 2 North, which is we call the Safeway alignment. So in this section right now, some of the projects that are entitled are going on. You have Hawk's Nest. We have Spiker Holdings, which is this vacant commercial property that they've been trying to market. We have Heritage Place, which is a residential development, right? Is that what this is? Is it commercial? I don't remember for sure. That's an entitled property there. The former Pepper Jacks is there. They're doing the expansion of Country West over there. And then we have Brook Apartments to the west, and then east of that is where Tractor Supply is going to go in. So this, again, is a strategic location. This is what we would call our center of town and the busiest intersection in town. There's high traffic counts. There's surrounding housing. There's Chino Valley Water and Sewer, at least up to where the fill station is, just west of Sherman-Williams. There's Prescott Water there also, to take the best advantage of like Tractor Supply and that, and even farther into where Hawk's Nest is, we would need to do some extension of utilities, but that could be, a quick turnaround. The other challenges in this is ADOT access from 89 and APS. Those are, anybody that's doing that is APS undergrounding of their utilities that are above ground. So those, and the other thing is there's mixed ownership. It's not like one person owns this parcel or these parcels. So there's several different players that come into place, and that's part of the reason that Tractor Supply is taking a little longer is there's an owner, some other properties, and whether or not they're dividing those parcels or keeping them together has made it a challenge. But this is a great opportunity potential for several different reasons, and I'm going to ask if Brian, if you want to come and talk about a potential opportunity that just came to us.
Yeah. So you can see here to the west of this image is a unified school district, or two schools of the unified school district. They've recently reached out. The increased standards coming up on water quality is going to require them to hook up to a municipal system. So we may have an opportunity there to either work with them, or best case scenario would be for them to extend all the way to their site, pay buy-on fees, and be one of our largest solid users. So another thing that we're going to look into on these options after we hear some feedback is what utility extension options there are and how many either immediate people we could pick up or long-term. Because commercial, once we touch our site, they are required to hook up. So those are scenarios we're going to be providing in Public Works.
And so it's unfortunate that the school has PFAS in their water, but if that's going to happen, rather than them spend, we know how expensive those are, facilities to connect to water, even though Prescott is there as well as us. They've said that they prefer to connect to us, and we would prefer that, so we're anxious to get into those discussions, because if they have money, if ADEQ has money, it could be a good opportunity for us to extend that line, and if we're going to do it, we'll extend sewer all the way down to there, and now all those properties, all the way from Sherwin-Williams to the school, become viable for development because there's water and sewer there. So we'll see where that goes, but we wanted to kind of get it on your radar, because if it does move forward, we probably will be engaging in discussions with you on what that might look like. So. Going farther south, Road 1 South, commonly referred to as Southgate Center. So in this one's entitled, there's water and sewer there. There is ADOT access. So it's got all the boxes checked. It just needs to find somebody to come in and develop it. So there's the big center that's owned 27 acres by the Southgate LLC, and then there's 1 acre parcel surrounding all around it. So with this one, it's a strategic location again. There's high traffic counts. There's water and sewer. It's platted for a shopping center, big box store. It's affordable and available land. It's shovel ready. Prescott Water, Chino Valley Sewer, ADOT access is there. There's a private airstrip you can see off to the east. The drawbacks here are it's a big project, so it's major capital costs for someone that's going to come in and do an investment for a shopping center of that size and a big box store. And we're not sure the distance, but there is a church, so it could be an issue with a liquor license. There's a distance requirement, and it may be okay, but we want to make sure we keep that on the radar. But this one, there really is little that the town would need to do. It just needs to be marketed and find the right person. Then we go all the way into our southern border, and we're down at Road 4 South, Circle K. So you can see where the Circle K is looking to come in. Next to that, the rest of the property around it is owned by AZ1 Members LLC. So they have the vacant, what used to be the pot farm? Medical marijuana facility. That is the formal term. And then there's an adjacent 22.5 acre parcels around that. And then across the street, there's another 4.7 acres that they're actively trying to do. The nice thing about this particular parcel, it's a strategic location. It's a southern entry into our town, and it also aligns with Outer Loop, which is a ton of traffic coming from Williamson Valley. There's water and sewer to the east side of the highway. The ADOT highway access is already in place. So all of those things were negotiated with Circle K. As you know, we've already talked with them about extending our sewer to them. So that once we get to that point with that development agreement, that whole property then opens up to development. The downsides are the cost of tying into the city of Prescott water lines along 89, and they have had some fire protection issues with people who have tried to tie in to Prescott water in that sector. Yes, okay. So that's the research that we're doing, that we have done, and what we're looking into, and we're looking to engage with you on each of those areas and what your thoughts are. So what we have for your homework is we're going to print this out and get it to you, and we'll send it to you digitally, what we just gave you, and we want you to go out and drive around each of those areas. Spend some time, look around, take the map, see where water and sewer are, think, see what traffic is there. Get some thoughts about what you think would be priorities if we were going to put some money in investment in extending water and sewer, if we were going to partner and maybe get an ADOT access point. If there was those ways that the town wanted to invest to encourage development, where do you think the best places, the most bang for our buck will be of these? We crossed out number 3 because it's shovel ready. There's really nothing we need to do. The next part that Ryan talked about that I think is going to be key in that we're going to be bringing back, the one thing we weren't ready to engage yet, is him and Steve are working on the utility analysis to see how much it would cost. If you wanted to extend it here or extend it there, what would that cost be? And particularly, as Ryan said, and what could we pick up from that? So if we extended it here and we could pick up lots of customers, it might be more value than somewhere else spending the same when we only could pick up a few. So we want to give you all that good data. So I'm really glad that he was thinking of all these different factors that will be helpful for you in making those decisions should you choose to invest. So that'll be our next, when we get back in August, we'll either August or 1st of September, we're going to have that study session. We'll go back over this. We'll fill in some of those utility things, and we want some input from you on your thoughts about where we're going forward. Just so you know, we did not talk about Old Home Manor here because we think that's its own piece that we need to talk about separately. We do know that there's projects and opportunities going out there. There's some new ones that are kind of exciting. And there's also, as we talked about, potential land sale options that could give us revenue we sell land, do a project, sell land, do a project, and use that as a model to develop. So that's going to be its own study session, but we want to do this portion first. So that's our update on where we're at and where we're looking to go. As I said, we'll get you these materials so you can take time to think about it, and please drive around and see those areas. Is there anything you'd like to add, ma'am?
So I wanted to thank Max, our GIS person.
Yes.
We interrupted him in the middle of a project he was working for Public Works and said, we have these maps and you have to get them ready for us. And he spent a couple of days putting these together. And you can tell the difference between our standard maps and what Max has put together. The quality of the maps are significantly better. So I just wanted to give him a thank you for that.
Anything else you want to add, sir? No. So that is just our update for you, and we look forward to engaging with you and getting some specific direction about where we want to go and how we continue to invest in our town to make sure that we are sustainable financially in the future.
You want to take questions now or wait till you come back with all this? After homework is done?
Wait till we come back. Yeah, because I think presentations, I don't know if we even can take questions. So we could, if you do have a question or there's something you want to make sure that we bring back, you can ask us now or you can send it later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Item 4 item 3 called to the public.
Call of the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council. Public comment is at the discretion of the council and not required by law. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Yielding of time will not be permitted. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment on items not on the agenda will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Public comment is invited and encouraged. However, personal attacks on individuals is not appropriate. Disrespectful behavior will not be tolerated. This includes loud outbursts, profanity, and disruptive discussions among our audience. I have one from Glenn Westcott.
Please come up, sir.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Glenn Westcott. I live at 815 North Road 1 West here in Chino Valley, just right down from the middle school. And our property next door, sorry, I have it here, is 785 North Road 1 West. And it's just been sold, and we heard that it's been sold to become an Alzheimer's house or property. So my better half and I, we've been trying to research this, and that's the only thing we're getting on that. And if that's true, how come we wouldn't have been notified? Or is this possible to happen or anything?
Okay, we'll
I
direct
know
that.
it's kind of like a broad question or something, like I said, so it's,
That's okay. We don't answer questions tonight at Call of the
Okay.
Public. We'll direct the town manager and staff to take a look into it and get back to you on it.
okay, thank you so much.
Certainly.
So you have his contact information?
Item 4, current events, summaries and reports. Item A, status reports by mayor and council regarding current events. John?
No update.
Larry?
Big time attaboy to community services for the food truck event. Looked to be a great success. I was there for, I don't know, about 40 minutes, but it was packed. So great job as usual.
Robert?
No, sir.
Sherry?
No, sir.
No. John?
No.
Eric?
No.
I have nothing. Madam Town Manager, you're up.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I have a number as normal, a lot of things going on during the summer. So the last day to vote early in person is this Friday, July 17th, for the upcoming primary election. Mail ballots can be dropped off at any ballot drop box within Yavapai County from now until 7 p.m. on July 21st, Election Day. For more information, the upcoming primary election, please visit our website at chinovalleyaz.gov and select the vote button, very big vote button on the front page. Come and participate in the summer reading program finale. So it's amazing to think that we're already at the finale. It is Dino Crew Entertainment. That's tomorrow, Wednesday, July 15th from 10 to 2 p.m. at the Library Community Room. The event will feature lifelike dinosaurs, century bins, story time, and outdoor play. That sounds like a lot of fun. Save the date, Chino Valley Movie in the Park and open mic nights. Be sure to check out our Chino Valley website to save the date for the upcoming movies and open mic nights at Memory Park. The entry is free and there are food vendors on site. Upcoming save the dates are Friday, July 17th, featuring Hercules. Friday the 31st, featuring Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. So the movies at the park are a lot of fun. They have not had anybody show up for open mic night, so if you have a hidden talent you would like to share with the community, and we invite you to come out and be the first.
Is that the same thing as Call to the Public?
Yes. Very similar, right? We just set it to music.
3 minutes and you're done, that's it.
And another good one, safety story time with our Chino Valley Police Department. Tuesday, July 1st at 10:30 a.m. at the Chino Valley Library Community Room. Come connect with local officers and learn about child safety. Kids will come home with take-home items and there will be snacks. So again,
What was the date on that?
it is Tuesday, July 21st.
Okay.
The 21st.
What did I say? Something different, probably. Tuesday, July 21st at 10:30 a.m. And then I just want to echo your comments that the party in the park food truck night was an exceptional success, and it was another great example of one town team in action. Several departments setting up was huge, taking down was huge. And everybody working together to pull something off like that, it takes all departments and all hands, particularly community services and their Parks and Recreation Division, but facilities, were also big in that, so I just want to thank staff for everything that they did, but it was a great event, and it was great to see the community come out and just hang out together for the night.
Thank you. Item 5 is the
Mr. Mayor.
consent agenda. Would anyone like to remove anything from the consent agenda?
I do have one item to bring up.
Okay.
I believe this Saturday is the Elks Car Show at Memory Park. So if you'd like to attend that,
18.
the 18th.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is correct. Okay, consent agenda. John, anything?
No.
Larry?
No, sir.
Robert?
No, sir.
Jerry?
No.
John?
Just item 5E regarding the Maintenance Improvement District.
Okay. Okay, item 5E, consideration and possible action to adopt resolution number 2026-1316, levying and assessing an ad valorem tax on the assessed value of all real and personal property within the boundaries of the town of Chino Valley Del Sol Maintenance Improvement District for fiscal year 26-27 pursuant to section 48574 Arizona Revised Statutes.
My only, and I mentioned it at the last meeting, but my only concern was the citizens having to subsidize. It was nearly $5,000. So my only contention is, on this matter, is the MID can go forward, whatever. But to my knowledge, this is the third time that this has been brought before in public. And nobody from that project has yet to voice a concern. So if they're not concerned about it, we shouldn't make the rest of the citizens have to subsidize their lot improvements. That's pretty simple, isn't it?
Absolutely. Would you like any more overview or updates on any of the
Well, no,
information?
because you articulated what the costs were, what the issue is that I saw a carve out of roughly 4,900. I can't remember the exact amount, and I know those were pending because you were still waiting for secondary bids. But
Yes, if you would, just walk through the presentation. I think you prepared. I think it'll be good for the public and for council.
it's all about you now.
All right, so as a reminder, this is the Del Sol Maintenance Improvement District. So there's 25 properties that are the light blue highlighted parcels, and then we have 7 maintenance areas. Those are the yellow highlighted areas. So this year we did propose that there was a reduced amount of just under $9,500 rather than the district's full projected annual maintenance cost of around $14,375. So that's that $5,000 difference he's talking about. And this reduced levy would decrease the assessment on those property owners for this upcoming fiscal year. Staff is in the process, however, of obtaining quotes for maintenance services. We've put out a new scope of work that's more in-depth to separate out some of those potential optional items. And so far, we've gotten a few quotes back. I'm not going to go into pricing details. However, one of them was on the higher end of our quotes last year, and now it's significantly less with the new scope. So there's potential for this to not have to be subsidized by the town if the actual costs come in under that $9,500 mark. And we won't know till we finish getting all those quotes in, and then we'll be selecting the lowest bidder that can perform those services. And then right now, we are kind of constrained with timing. I know there's been discussion of if we could go back up on it, but because we had the amount in the final budget adoption at the meeting on the 23rd, we could amend that action, but it's a time constraint because we have to have property tax information to the county so they can actually adopt it through their process to get it on the tax rolls for this upcoming year. So that puts us in kind of a squeeze as far as moving this item forward tonight versus delaying or changing that at this point. So that's why at this point we are recommending the discounted amount, which is what's in the resolution before you this evening. And then over this next year, we would be able to gauge that better and have additional discussions prior to the tentative budget adoption so we can decide what should be included there and make sure that we're getting the full amount back from those benefiting in that area. And any questions?
I'm just kind of curious if anybody on the council has a position that they would like to explain other than just my opinion, but I'm not a big fan. I mean, nobody from that development has come to advocate for themselves whatsoever. And I'm not advocating that we go above the budget. We would stay within the budget, but instead of every taxpayer in this town subsidizing the maintenance of 25 residents, we let the 25 residents subsidize their own maintenance. Otherwise, next year, do my neighborhood.
Mr. Mayor, I would, first question would be, can the resolution be delayed until the final quotes come in, would be my first question. Number two would be, Mr. Councilmember McCafferty, are you suggesting that we have a vote to only have the towns pay for the original amount?
Mr. Mayor, if I can weigh in on this, you have two options. You have one legal option and you have one practical option. The legal option is repeal your prior resolution, readopt your final budget at the full amount, and then go back, have your hearing again, and levy the tax amount. The statutory deadline is the third Monday in August. However, the county has to do its job by the third Monday in August. So the practical deadline is tomorrow for you to provide your information to the county. So in order to do all of what we've just talked about, you'd have to beg for the county to let you do it out of order much, much later, hold 2 special meetings, or at least one special meeting within that period of time in order to make up this, what may or may not be about a $5,000 gap. Those are our options available to us. The time for this discussion was at the last meeting when you had your public hearing and you adopted the original resolution. So it's a timing practicality.
And I brought it up, but I thought this was the last crack at it, so that's why
Yeah, I was under that impression also.
So we're hoping that the quotes are going to make that gap much smaller for this year, but we absolutely hear what seems to be a strong sentiment, so that next year when we come back, we look to bring it to you fully funded.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the fairness of this. If we're going to do
Absolutely.
this for one development, why aren't we going to do the same for every other development? It really comes down to that simple.
Any other questions or comments?
So just for clarification, these are 25 individual residences. It's not part of an HOA. There's no
Correct.
CC&Rs.
There's no HOA there. That's how it was developed as this. They were actually each separate subdivisions, I believe, instead of a full one,
Yes.
a major. So if it was a major, then that would have been something that would have been on them, from my understanding. But because it was split into 3 different ones, and this was, yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure if you even have access to this information, and the mountain of paperwork that you have to sign when you're in the process of purchasing a home. Was that levy explained in that paperwork? Do we have any knowledge of that?
So typically, like when a home goes through escrow, the title agency will contact the town if there's any assessments due or anything like that. And anything that exists for that area, so this is an existing maintenance district, so any of that information should be provided to the home purchaser at the time of purchase. We don't know, we don't see all those things directly.
Correct.
Additionally, the amount previously that was assessed for this district was much smaller. When the home builder had this under his control, it was around $2,700 annually that was being paid for the maintenance of those areas. So there's a significant difference there.
Is that where they're still at? Today is 2,700?
No, when they passed it over to us, that is, it went up.
And how much
Tremendously.
do we collect currently?
The 2,700 is what we based our first year of collections on, which was last year. So they're going from 2,700 in assessed valuation in the area up to the 9,500 this year. So it's tripling the amount that we put on the property owners. And then in future years, the hope is to end up with a more refined scope of work, like I was explaining, to where we can actually match the assessment amount with the expenses. Right now, there's just a few unknowns with what that amount will actually be, so that's why we're more comfortable with kind kind of meeting at a lower amount than the full expenditure limitation amount for this district.
And now that this is already all done, is there any legal way to get out of the MID?
I'll refer to Andrew.
There is a dissolution process for an improvement district. You all would be involved in doing that, just like you were involved in formation of it. You wouldn't want to do that until after you get through the full year in which you're going to have contracted, but you can certainly tee that up for next year if that's the intent.
I would like to hear our options on that.
So if the bids come in, let's just say hypothetically at $9,800, are we still going to subsidize 4,800 of it?
Typically, yes, we would subsidize the difference to the low bid unless there's some service that we can cut back on and still maintain code compliance.
Okay, no, I guess I didn't phrase that right. So right now the bid is roughly 14, and that's what we're basing the budget on. So we're going to charge them, the landowners, the property owners, they're going to cover the 9,000 whatever dollars, and then the rest of the citizens are going to cover the other 4,800. But if that 14,000 becomes a lower cost of, let's say, $10,000, are we still going to be covering 4,800 of that $10,000?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We would only cover the difference between what we collect. So once we set this, we're getting that 9,500 from those property owners.
Okay.
So it's only the difference between the amount that we're going to collect and what the actual cost of service is.
This will have to be a topic for you guys to remember for next year, because I won't be dealing with this budget next year.
Yeah, I think this one fell through the cracks, right? So we know for the next.
Any other
episode.
questions or comments on this? It came off the consent agenda, so now I will entertain a motion, because this is gonna have to be an action item now.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda item E. Second.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, this will be a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Stankiewicz?
Yes.
Councilmember Switzer?
No.
Councilmember Holt?
No.
Councilmember Phillips?
No.
Councilmember McCafferty?
No.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong?
Yes.
Motion fails.
Mr. Mayor, so now you don't have a tax levy for this, so you have $0 collected against,
That's correct.
okay.
You understand that means that we can't levy their
We
property?
can't levy that
You
against
can't
them.
levy the property tax.
So we're going to pay the whole amount?
The whole amount will
From the
be
general
run by the
fund.
town now out of the general fund.
If we move forward with it, though.
We just moved.
No, based on that vote.
Just
moved
on that
forward
vote,
with it.
you're not moving forward with it.
No, but can you do something differently and push it? I guess you won't have to cover it, and then you'll have to do it for the next year then, and let it see where it goes. and
So
put it
that
on the
means that,
landowners.
based on the vote, and tell me if I'm wrong, Andrew, based on the vote that just happened, the town will subsidize the full cost and we will collect nothing from the property owners.
So, on my vote, I did not know that would be the result.
Yeah, none of us knew that.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Well, somebody who voted in the majority, the winning side, can move to reconsider that vote.
I would make a move to reconsider that vote.
And then you have to
I have
have
a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to reconsider. Roll call vote again.
Councilmember Stankiewicz?
No.
This is to reconsider the vote.
Yes, to reconsider the vote. I'm sorry.
Councilmember Switzer?
Yes.
Councilmember Holt?
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips?
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Granillo?
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong?
Yes,
Passes.
thank you very much.
We just went from no money to a lot of money. Next year, I hope you guys remember this.
Okay, now I will entertain a motion on consent agenda items A, B, C, D, F, and G.
Or you still need a new motion on the now reconsidered item.
Thought we just did that.
That was a motion to
To
reconsider.
reconsider.
Now you need a motion to actually vote on that as reconsidered.
I'm ready, Mayor.
Go ahead.
I need a motion and a second first.
You have a motion to vote on the reconsideration of the previous reconsideration.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor by roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Stankiewicz.
Yes.
Councilmember Switzer.
Yes.
Councilmember Holt.
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips.
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grineal.
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda A, B, C, D, F, and G.
I have a
Second.
motion. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Thank you very much. Item 6, action items. A, consideration and possible action to approve a budget transfer in the amount of $35,000 from the general fund contingency to the general fund engineering water resources consultant budget, and to approve the amended and restated professional services agreement with Mark Holmes LLC for water resources consulting services.
It's me.
Hi, Jesse.
Surprise! Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jesse Soderberg, Executive Analyst. Tonight before you, we have the amended and restated professional services agreement between the Town of Chino Valley and Mark Holmes LLC. Mark is the town's water resources consultant. He's contracted to provide specialized expertise on matters regarding water planning, water rights, regulatory compliance, and water management initiatives. We're all very familiar with Mark Holmes, and if you're not, you haven't been paying attention. He has been with the town for 9 years working as the consultant. You can see the evolution of his agreement above. So in June of 2024, I call this the original PSA. His hourly rate was documented at $80 an hour with an annual maximum of $70,000. So this should be familiar to you because we brought it before council in May of 2026, where we amended the annual maximum to $75,000. So at that time, he was filling some other duties and responsibilities while we didn't have a public works director. But since then, we have onboarded Ryan Anderson. And so today we are proposing an amendment for the fiscal year 26-27 that includes an hourly rate increase to $90 an hour with an annual maximum of $105,000. For the years 27-28, the hourly rate is $95 an hour, and then after that, the hourly rate is to be determined by council at a later date. The annual maximums increase by $5,000 every year. However, I want to point out that this is the maximum allowed. It is not promised income. It depends on the actual hours worked and the performance of those hours worked. So the contract aggregate remains $575,000. And other key changes to note in the contract, it clarifies the reporting relationship to the town manager. It establishes an annual performance review. It updates the invoicing and billing procedures. It clarifies a termination provision of a 60-day notice, and it updates the scope of services to reflect his current responsibilities. So with that, it is my recommendation that we approve the budget transfer of $35,000 from the general fund contingency to the water resources consultant budget, and approve the amended and restated professional services agreement between the town and Mark Holmes.
Questions? John?
No questions.
Larry?
No, sir.
Robert?
No, sir.
Sherry?
No.
John?
No.
Eric?
No.
I don't have any questions. Will question, are we gonna need two motions, one for number one and one for number two, or can they both be done together?
A and B.
Oh, I believe just one will suffice if you just say all of the language in the recommended.
I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, make a motion, we approve action item 6A, approve the budget transfer in the amount of $35,000 from a general fund contingency to the general fund engineering water resources consultant budget, and B, approve the amended and restated professional service agreement with Mark Holmes LLC for water resources consulting services.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote again, please.
Councilmember Stankiewicz,
Yes.
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grineal,
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong,
Yes.
passes 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Remember
Item-
not to call him.
Item B, consideration and possible action to approve a second amendment to the purchase and sale agreement between the town of Chino Valley and Chino Valley Rodeo Drive LLC, extending the closing date by 60 days. Madam Town Manager.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. More for the history, but more for the sake of our public and documenting that, I'm going to just go back over a few key points. The Old Home Manor RV Park project is 26 acres, 184 RV spaces with luxury amenities. We commissioned an independent consultant, Rounds Consulting, to do an economic development analysis before council moved forward this. We just remind people that the construction impacts for the project are 65 jobs, 9.5 million in capital expenditures, 10.8 million in economic output is anticipated, and 127,000 in tax revenue to the town. They anticipate also 3.3 million in labor income through this project. After the construction phase, when it gets into operational, Rounds has predicted that there will be, we are first know that we are getting $786,500 from the sale of the proceeds of the land, that it will create 20 ongoing jobs, about 2.3 million annual in economic output from that facility, which will be about 945,000 in annual tax revenue. And of that, 323,000 we anticipate will come to the town through RV space rentals, park employees, and guest spending. So it could be a great source of revenue for us. Previous actions on April 14th, the council approved the purchase and sale agreement and the development agreement. On May 26th, council approved a first amendment that extended the closing date by 14 days to July 24th. This past week, I was contacted by the LLC, and they have a new investor that wants to become part of the corporation. In order to do, they wanted to do that before they closed, so he was in on that that transaction. But they couldn't do that and bring it to you in August. Our next council meeting is August. So we got it on this agenda. We thank our attorney for turning around a second PSA amendment for you to consider tonight. And because the developer wanted you to know that this isn't a cold feet situation, this is putting the right people in place so that this project will go forward successfully, that they have agreed to not change the date of when the earnest money could be refundable, which was yesterday. So as of yesterday, that $20,000 now, regardless of what happens, is the town's. So that was their good faith gesture to let them know, thank you, if you will give them this additional time, they are excited to move forward, and to do that, they're willing to relinquish the $20,000 deposit they put down. So based on that, we ask that you approve the second amendment. Any questions?
Questions? John? Larry?
No, sir.
Robert?
Nope.
Sherry?
No.
John?
No.
Eric?
Nope.
I have no questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion for action item 6B, approve a second amendment to purchase and sale agreement between the town of Chino Valley and Chino Valley Rodeo Drive LLC, extending the closing date by 60 days.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor by a roll call vote, please.
That was a close one. Councilmember Stankiewicz,
Yes.
Councilmember Switzer,
Yes.
Councilmember Holt,
Yes.
Councilmember Phillips,
Yes.
Councilmember McCafferty,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grineal,
Yes.
Mayor Armstrong,
Yes,
passes 7-0.
thank you very much. Item 7, Madam Phillips.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and several seconds. All in favor?
That was the first time you